Shalom, guys. I greet you once again in the name of our soon coming King, Jesus Christ. So, just gonna get right into it. Lord, as I say, Lord, I said, guys, I almost didn't make this video because I woke up with a pounding headache, but I know that was the work of the devil because I made a vow that I'm gonna do this video. I should have done it. I wanted to do it Friday night. Last night I came home too late, and then today I went to church, and so I said I have to do this video today. So the devil's trying to find me. Plus I'm a little bit under the weather because of the change of climate, but so if I sound a little nasal, that's the reason why. So let's get into it. I have my Bible here with me, but I'm not gonna really open it and to find the scripture. So I have some scriptures that I had wrote down that the Lord inspired me to share with you guys before I go into the story. But of course, my little church journal here. So the first one is Psalms 81 verses 10, and it reads, I am the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. Open thy mouth and I will fill it. He led me to that. So yeah, as his mouthpiece, he's gonna speak through me. The second verse now, the second scripture it reads from 2 Samuel 16 verses 11. And David said to Abishai and to all his servants, Behold, my son, which came forth of my bowels, seeketh my life. How much more now may this Benjamite do it? Let him alone, and let him curse, for the Lord hath bidden him. So basically it's saying that the Lord allowed David's son to seek after his life because, I guess it helped to build his testimony and all that. So when he led me to this one now, he put it in my spirit about his son after David's life. I was like, oh, I see what you did there, Lord. So the other one now is reading from Ephesians 5 verses 11, and it says, and have no fellowship with unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them, for it's a shame to even speak of these things which are done of them in secret. Okay, so you're supposed to expose the workers of darkness, the agents of Satan, right? And I have two more. This one is from Deuteronomy 18 verses 10. Let no one be found among you who sacrifices their son or daughter in the fire, who practices divination or sorcery, interprets omens, engages in witchcraft. Alright. And like I said, the Lord just led me to those scriptures, and I find them in the Bible and I place them in here. The last one is from Exodus 22 verses 18, and this one reads, Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. And people, like I said, this topic is very sensitive, and this is why I was delaying all this while. That person is the woman who bore me. Yes. What your title as a mother, but I don't not give her that title because I believe that a mother should be very nurturing to her child, loving, you protect her from all the evil, like what she so when he led me to David, it was the opposite way around, you understand? So David's son was after his life. In my case, my the lady that gave birth to me is after my life. Yeah, I really don't want to say mother. I'm sorry, that's just the truth. And I'm not speaking from a place of bitterness. I'm not speaking from a place of unforgiveness, because I have forgave her, and I'm gonna tell you all about it because I even went on spoke to her and said, you need to give your life to God when I found out. Yeah, face to face. But I'm getting there. So like I said, it's a series, so I'm doing part 1 tonight. All right, I'm gonna try my best to do part 2 tomorrow. So you're probably going to say, how, it's your mother doing this and that. Okay. So we're going to take a trip down to memory lane. Yeah, I'm taking you guys with me. All right, so I was raised by my father and a stepmother. My mother wasn't in the picture. I think it's probably the first year or two of my life. When I was a baby, that's when up until that time, she raised me, with him. And she went to her married race back home because they were living in Kingston, south side, Kingston at the time. And she went back home. They're both from St. Elizabeth in Jamaica. Yeah. And, yeah. So, long story short, yeah, so from what I can remember, when we moved from there downtown, we moved to Windward Road. That's where I was raised most of my life, my young life, yeah. And I remember, I don't know, I think I was 7 or 8 thereabouts. My father said to me, your mother is coming to look for you and all that. So it's okay. And when she came, I recall she said to me, you know who I am? And I said, yes, my mother. I remember that clearly. And over time she came back, because, when I first laid eyes on her, I was like, wow, this woman is beautiful. My mother is really pretty, And so I was just so excited because actually my mother, my real mother. All right. I don't remember every detail, but I can recall every now and then she come to she come to look for me and everything. I remember one time she brought me down to St. Elizabeth, her country, and I was walking hand in hand with her, and then I remember I looked up at her and I said, "Mommy." She's like, "Who tell you to call me that?" Just like that. And little me, a child, so it was sensitive. I felt some type of way. I said, this is weird. Like, why should you want me to call her mommy? But I never said anything. But from that day to, never, I called her by her name. Yeah. I mean, I won't mention her name here, but I just called her by her name. Yeah. That's okay. So, fast forward now to start going to high school, and she would still come and visit, and then I started visiting her. I remember one time, I think I was around 14 years old. I was attending high school. Yes, and I spent a month by her, and something, it wasn't anything that bad that happened, but she was living with her partner at the time, and I don't know if I should even go into the detail, but it wasn't anything bad. It was a good man. I guess he's still alive. I'm not sure what. I know he had migrated to the UK, but let me just get into, because it's not nothing bad. So it's nothing that really he did. So she said to me that cause the time he was a taxi driver, so he had to go out in the morning to carry people to work and to school. And she said to me, make sure you fry the eggs. He doesn't eat pork sausage, so she said, fry the egg. Make sure you fry the egg first before you fry the sausage. And that's what I did. So when I was leaving to go back to my father, he came home in the hours, that up around the midday. So I said to him, I left the egg, the breakfast station. You say, okay, I tell him I'm leaving and everything fine. In the evening, no, this woman at the time, it wasn't even cell phone yet, it was land phone, and she went, cause they never had any land phone, and she went about the neighbors and call me. And this woman just start class me. And how the man come home hungry. And no, mind you, this is a big man. And I know it wasn't the man. For some reason, as young as I was, I knew it wasn't the man. I'm being honest. I knew it wasn't the man. She probably just come home, see the food, and the man still sleeping because he's tired. Obviously I gonna eat a road or something. She start cuss me. Because but my Friday what? My Friday the sausage before, and I said no I didn't, and she and oh him said this and I said this one, I was like she's crazy or something. Hey, she class she did give it to me, and she said what? I will never forget this. I told her I have. I'm gonna put, because she has another daughter, an older one. Yeah. And I told him I have. I'm not put none I wanna before him. I was like, what kind of woman speaks like this? So from that I try to avoid going over. So one day my father said, well, I don't want to go over there. I said, I don't like how she behave and she don't treat me well. So yeah. But the man is a good man. I keep saying is a good man. When they were together, I never had any issues with him. I'm telling you the honest truth. So never. So it's like this. It just didn't seem right. Every time I'm around her, it just seemed drama and toxic, and I'm not doing anything to offend this woman. So why every time, she and then she have another time like she switch on, she switch off. Oh, she call, you're not to see her, come look for me, and because I wanted so badly to bond with her, I always fall for it. And I used to think that, okay, when they do their foolishness, because I realize people don't admit that they're sorry or tell you that, okay, I'm sorry I did this. They don't take any form of accountability. So I'm saying, okay, forgive me. So, I'm forgiving her. So each time I go around, it's the same thing. It's just at a difference. It was just too much. Too much. Not knowing that it had started from high school pretty much. Yeah. And like, this. So yeah, I was saying each time I go back around her, just the drama and the toxicity, and I couldn't function. But like I said, little did I know that it started at high school. So when I used to confide in my friend, my sister friend, and she's like, oh Stacey, you're going through so much, you should write a book. So that's why I said in my previous video. And like I said, mind you, this is high school. Don't start living any life yet. So you should write a book because you're going through so much. And it was just too much. I just never want. Sometimes I would catch her giving me some nasty, mean looks. Like, what did I do to this woman? And I remember when they had moved. She had moved, and she went to live with the other daughter. And so every now and then I still try to go, like, because I want to bond, get to know my sister and everything. But the woman would do some little, you call it now, little petty things, like she trying to set me up then, trying to set me up. She will do this and that and then pretend like it's not her that did it for me to take the blame. So sometimes so now it's like it start playing with my mind, like, let's hold on there. I know I didn't do that. And I know she did it, but why is she doing this? Like, it was just too, you're going to high school at that time, so you have to focus on your studies, your CXC coming up and all that. So it was a lot. It was just too much. Too much. But mind you, I didn't know the witchcraft, nothing. At that time, we wouldn't even call it witchcraft. It's now we term it as witchcraft. Back in Jamaica, they say obia, and it was like taboo, nobody had it. People hide and do those things. Nobody not really come out and talk like, okay, that's what they're doing and owning it up, right? So I said, okay. I remember the first time I heard God's audible voice when it's like in the morning, because at the time I wasn't working. This now, I just kind of leave high school. I just left high school, so I was maybe like in my late teens to early 20s, I believe. And I just felt a tap. Somebody tapped me, and I just hear a man's voice say, don't tell anybody your business. I was like, huh? And he woke me up to hear them discussing me because they're thinking that I'm asleep. And I was like, as I said, the sister and the woman, yeah, discussing me. I was like, yeah. So I heard them discussing me. So I was like, God, is that you? It was after a while I figured that it was him, that is audible. Like I said, the first time was so plain. I was like, okay. So sometimes sometimes that morning when I heard him, I pretended like I was still sleeping, and then she came back in the room because it was the sister and her son. She had a young son, so they were in one room, and lady and I were in another. And I tell you, sometimes she would just start speak some things like so bitter. I was like, what did I do to these people? Because I'm trying to retrace my step. Like, when did I offend them? What did I do? You know? I'm like, no. That's not the time, because I was a makeup artist. No, yeah. I think I started production makeup in maybe a year or two after that. So I wasn't quite working at the time, so I was just doing a little makeup here and there. So I never had anything steady, and I was like by them, and it was just at this time I think my father had migrated to the States. I was just so clueless as to what was happening, but each time I come around this woman would just taunt me and carry on, and it just caused me to leave. And then when I'm far from her, she'll call like totally different person, because she has multiple personalities. I long to see you. Come look for me. And like me, like I said, just wanted to have that mother's love, and thinking that forgiveness is like, okay, they do what they do, you let them back in, and they keep doing, and you keep forgiving, because you grew up and hear that the Lord say you always have to forgive, not knowing that forgiveness, like, you can forgive them but do not let them back in. I had to learn the hard way, so I learned that at a later date in life, you understand? So yeah, that was it there for that period of time. Eventually now, when I picked up back myself now and started doing production now, so I was working behind the scenes as a makeup artist, and I do little here and there as well too. So I got this nice place. I think that was 2004, 2005 thereabouts. Got this nice little studio apartment, very nice, off Riddles Road. And like I always say, I still let them in, because I'm thinking that this woman so guys, if you hear if I say the lady or the other sister, believe me, I'm gonna get like I said, it gets deeper. So I'm going to explain why I rather to term them as that. Okay, so yeah, one night I was doing a makeup gig. It was a late night, so I told her daughter that I'm gonna come in late, so to expect me. She said, okay, yeah, no problem. When I came in that night, oh my God, the woman went off, and she clapped, and I was just so tired. I said to her, the way how she started getting me angry, I said, if you weren't my mother, I would have dragged you off that bed and if you up. That's what I said to her. Yeah, I'm telling you, because she taunt me. She just taunt me. But I'm like, I said to her daughter, I said, didn't I tell you that I'm coming in? Yeah, but but I realized that she's a snake. Yeah, she's a two-face. Because one time I said to her, it's because I can't do any better that I'm here. And when the lady cursing me, she could tell me that. And I only said it to one person. So I realized, And one time, long after, I said to her, whatever, oh, so you have me. Let me say that about have you, but I can't trust you. And no matter how I try to have a relationship, she always give me a reason not to trust her, up until to this day. Yeah, and I found out that she's a part of it too. I was like, almighty God. So that day, when I vowed that when I left there, I would never return back to their place to sleep over. Never. So I remember, even when I used to be there, right? And they have a washing machine in the house, and the lady now would wash everybody's clothes, including the grandson. Me, she never washed my clothes. She never washed my clothes. And when I left there, I had left a suit of clothes there, and it was dirty. And eventually, I called the daughter to tell her to bring my clothes. Me, thinking that they would have washed it, child. It was like months, and I got back the same dirty clothes as how I left it. I said, okay. And then on top of it now, one time she gave me this top, and she said, she called her name and said, she's giving you this. And then she gave me a gift. I was so excited, not knowing that the woman said, whatever was in that thing, it itched the daylight out of me. It's like, however she said it, is every time I went to shower, and once I came, yeah, so when I got that piece of clothing, I was so excited. And I said, whatever she did, every time I took a shower and I put on my clothes, it's like some biting and sometimes I have to use like the brush bristle, and just scratching from head to toe, and it went on for a period of time until one day I was talking to somebody. I guess he could pick up, see what was going on. I said they wanted your skin to itch you. You're scratching like your mother. Then it just went back into my spirit about the top. And when I got rid of that top, when I burnt that top, that's the day the itching stopped. It was so bad that sometimes I didn't even want to shower. So I said, however, they were doing it, it's like, something was meant to set you crazy, like you wasn't supposed to take any bath. So imagine if I didn't taken any no bath or any shower. I would have been stink, right? So, it gets deeper. I tell you. So, eventually, when because I collected the clothes and everything, I just left it at that, because I just accepted that she don't like me, and that's fine. But like, it's like I always trying to get pulled in. Like I said, I just wanted that relationship. Still letting the woman back in my life. I guess I was naive, but hey. So in my mid-20s now, before that, in my mid-20s, sorry, I found that, I was a little bit stable with work now and everything, finding myself, doing my thing. And I had a nice studio apartment on Red Hills Road. And the sister, her daughter, pretending like, she happy for me and everything. She come and every now and then she come and she look for me at my place. So she decided that she coming too. That's when the trouble really started. That's when the trouble really started. So in that year now, it was just like things just started opening. I was just getting any normal dreams. I was even getting visitations from Jesus. I just started getting a hunger for God. And I said to the Lord, I want to learn more about you. Open up my knowledge so I can understand the Bible. Give me wisdom. I can recall remembering it. And even in that year, I said, Lord, I think I'm going to be 25, so I think I'm ready for a family now. I want a husband, yeah. So I said, Lord, that year, I said, I want my husband. I want to start a family. Listen, before I reach to that, part 2 is when I met my husband and everything. And when I had got pregnant, I'm going to state all of that. But I was telling now with my visitation from Jesus, I'm going to end it after I speak on my first actual conversation with Jesus in the spirit. So he came to me in my vision. So I had this nice little wicker chair in my room, and he sat on the chair. There's a nice little churchman, but it's like, and even now when he still comes, every time he comes to me, I sense his in the spirit his age. So telepathically he's telling me his age. So the age, which is 33, which was the last year of age when he left, when he was crucified, I should say. And this man just appeared in my room. And I was like, who is it? And before, cause of course, I didn't say it, but first I'm thinking it and he's reading my thoughts. He held out his left hand and showed me a $10 coin. You know, I have one of the $10 here to show you. I guess I'll show you after when I edit the video. $10 coin, Jamaican $10. He showed me 3 of it. And at the time, it took me a while to figure out. Well, I said, why is he showing me 3? Not knowing that he's a third. So it's like he's giving me a sign as to who he is. Because, of course, he was betrayed by 30 pieces of silver. So he showed me 3 $10 coins in his hand. I was like, huh? And even after that, when I was telling my friends, I like, what that's supposed to mean? Not remembering the story with Judas. So he's telling me that, yeah, it's me. This is what they betrayed me with. But anyway, my spirit was just so excited. I wasn't fearful or anything. And he just looked at me and smiled and he said, I'm proud of you. I said, really? He said, yes, I'm very proud of you. I said, whoa. I was like, what did I do for him to be proud of me? More than, I've been reading books about like spiritual warfare. I don't know. I was led to those books because those books kind of opened and not knowing that I was going under spiritual warfare. And I was like, wow, Jesus ain't proud of me. I was like really, really happy at that time. But I'm telling you, it really got worse. Like what got worse? But through it all, he had his hands on me up until to this day. Cause I'm telling you, to end this part 1. So yeah, to end this part 1, just gonna say that woman to this day, and what the Lord revealed to me, and through other people, and my prayer lines and all that, I'm telling you that thank God when he told me to leave Jamaica. Because and if I wasn't obedient, that's why even though I drag my feet whenever he tells me to do something, I have to do it no matter what. No matter if I'm gonna be mocked at, be scoffed at, be called crazy, be called this, I have to, because it's just me and him alone stand firm in the Gideon. You understand? Yeah, me and him alone. Yeah, and he go before me to fight the battle, because I'm telling you, but it was necessary for me to go through it because of what he is preparing me for. So I can say that the woman, she's not just like a obia worker or just she's a witch. She's a high-ranking witch. She's an occultist. She's one that drinks blood. I'm telling you this, and I'm telling you with boldness, because I have on the full armor of God and I have the spirit of boldness in me. But I said that it was sensitive because at the end of the day, it's, she gave birth to me, and I didn't want to expose her like this, but I have to. In the spirit, she doesn't see me as a daughter. She sees me as her enemy because she's an agent of Satan. Unfortunately, that's just who she is. So I'm believe me, stay with me. I'm still gonna explain as to how I found out. And he downloaded a lot of things into my spirit, especially when I started getting closer to him. And he confirmed it through other, prophets and prophetess and all that. Prophetesses, yeah. So she is. It kind of blew me. But it used to drive me crazy, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. But it's when I found out my purpose and why. So in part 2, I'm gonna explain how it started, because she opened that doorway for the devil to use her. The devil already know who I am, who I was gonna be before I even myself knew. You understand? So he used her to fight me. So she's being used by the devil, and that's her choice, because I interceded for her. She's on bar time, and that bar time is like over a decade. Can you imagine? I interceded for her. That not that all this time I didn't know I was an intercessor. So if I pray for you, believe me, the prayers go up. So I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know that I was an intercessor, because I'm interceding for her, and the prayers did went up, and I stood in God's way. But I'll explain in part 2. So I'm not gonna leave you too stranded out with this because it's very intriguing. So I'm gonna come back with part 2, tell you about my other visitation from Jesus, when I met the husband, when I got pregnant, when I found out that she was doing, cause all this time, even when she cursing me, I still didn't know the woman really hated me, and I was doing witchcraft. So yeah. So that's why I said it's sensitive. It's a sensitive topic, and for me to be sharing, because I don't know who's seeing this, and people, cause you know, with YouTube it go all over the world. So I'm just being obedient to God. You know, I'm just being obedient to God. So if you believe, you believe, and if you don't, I can understand, because you're not there spiritually. You know, you're not there. So like I said, a mother is supposed to love and nurture you and care for you and all that. Not she. She sees me as her enemy, but as long as God is for me, as is stated in His word, who can be against me? Right? So, shalom until the next video, guys. Bye.